Well, Kelly contacted the show to find her long-lost father, Brian, who left when she was only 18 months old. Well, our reunion team got to work, but when they managed to track down members of Brian's family, they discovered that, sadly, he had passed away some 13 years ago. So our counsellor, Ricky, went to Kelly's home to break the news. Here's what happened. Kelly got in contact with the show to track down her father, Brian. He'd walked out when she was only 18 months old and she hasn't seen him since. Well, our reunion team managed to track down a member of Brian's family and found out that, sadly, he passed away 13 years ago.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Ricky.
All right, nice to meet you.
It's all right, come and have a chat.
Coming.
Thanks very much.
Kerry's at home waiting for our counsellor Ricky to tell her what our team have discovered.
OK, Kelly, so you called the show, yeah? And you was looking for someone. Who was that?
My dad.
Yeah? OK. Well, you know, part of the reason I've come here today is to tell you some news. Now, the news that I've got to tell you is that we have made contact with someone that's saying they are one of your siblings. Now, they would very much like to meet you, and they do have some bad news for you, I'm afraid, which is what I want to pass on to you now, the fact that your father is actually dead.
What?
And has been dead for some time.
OK. Oh, I can't cry.
It's all right, whatever you feel, it's all right, you know. It's, you know. Yeah, well, just let it in. You might feel something later. You might not feel that much, because as you say, you know, what did you know?
Him, have I?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much for finding this information out for me.
Our reunion team has been working hard to track down other members of Brian's family, and we found Kelly's sister Kerry. But after receiving the news about her dad, will Kelly still want to come to the studio to meet her?
At least I know I've got brothers and sisters out there that want to know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good thing.
And they do want to know. And, you know, it sounds as though she'd particularly like you to come to the studio to meet her.
Right.
Would you be up for that?
Yeah.
Great.
Kelly took it very well that her father isn't around now. She'd obviously begun to think that way anyway, that was potentially the case. So now she's got an answer, and that can always help to bring closure. Well, Kelly's going to be coming to the studio and meeting a surprise sibling, and my hopes are that she gets a lot of answers to the questions that she has.
Very excited about meeting you.
Well, in the last few days since Kelly received the sad news about her father's death, she's had plenty of questions running through her head. For instance, what sort of person was he? Why did he leave all those years ago? Did he have other children? But will the family member she's about to meet be able to give Kelly some of those answers? Let's welcome Kelly. When did you find out, when was a question mark about who your dad was? When did that start?
When I was a teenager, I found out that the dad that brought me up for 18 years wasn't my dad.
How did you find out?
I just kind of figured out that the dad that was bringing me up, I was nothing like him.
Yeah.
Or
did
anything.
you ask your mum about it?
Yes, and she told me who he was and where he was.
So she told you that the man who was bringing you up definitely wasn't your dad?
Yeah.
So was she married to him, or...?
No, they split up before I was born, so I've never met my dad.
OK, so what did you try and do to track down where he was?
Looked on internet sites. My other half went into a library and looked in phone books for me, and we didn't get very far.
No, and then, of course, you contacted us.
We did.
And you've had some bad news?
Yes. Well, my dad died 13 years ago.
And how... You know, what's been going through your head? Have you been sleeping since then, or...?
I didn't sleep very well a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Because I just had so much things going around my head.
What was turning around in your head?
I was angry at myself that I didn't look for him earlier on in his life before he passed away.
But you would have only been a teenager, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else were you up to?
I was sad that he'd passed away without meeting me.
Did you think there were lots of questions you're not going to get answered as well?
There are a couple that are major questions I wanted to ask, like if he ever talked about me to anyone or...
Yeah, and then sort of for hearing that he'd passed away, you sort of think, well, how am I ever going to get answers?
The answers I want, yeah.
OK, so you know that we've managed to track down a member of his family. Yeah. Do you know what your father looked like?
Nope.
Well, you never seen a photo or anything like that?
Never had photos, never had nothing.
Because what I was going to tell you is that a member of your father's family is actually here in our audience today.
What?
Does that make it scary looking out there?
Yeah, just a bit.
I got any idea who... No, well, I tell you, your name's Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah. And it's been pretty confusing because we've tracked down one of his daughters who's called Kerry. And Kerry, if you'd like to stand up for us. So, Kelly, this is Kerry. You're how old?
36.
And so you're Brian's
Fourth daughter.
And you've never seen a picture of your dad, but Kerry, you brought along a photo, didn't you?
Yes.
So let's show Kelly the photo for the first time. This is what your father, Brian,
Yes.
looked like. What do you think?
I look a lot like him.
Yeah.
You do, actually.
I knew.
We all look like him. All the brothers and sisters.
How many brothers and sisters are there?
The last time when I spoke to one of the uncles,
Yeah.
the calculated was 27.
27?
Yes.
27 brothers and sisters?
Yes. We don't know where all of them are, but we know some of them.
Whoa! Kelly,
I like kids.
you were probably wondering, did you have a brother or a sister or...
Well, my mum sat there and said she knew he had a couple of children, one of them being a daughter and some being sons.
But 27?
Not that many.
So, what did he do? Can you tell Kerry about him?
No, but what I've been told by family is that he was what you call a lovable rogue. He knew how to charm the women around. He was very lovable. He loved all his children the same. And
so, did you ever actually get to meet him?
No. I did. Unlike Kelly, I didn't know until I was in my teens about Dad. And then a couple of years ago, I decided to go looking for him.
Right.
And it was another one of our sisters. Her mum came round and told me that Dad had passed away. And really, I would have loved to have met him and got to know him.
And have you met any of the other 20-odd brothers and sisters?
A couple of them I have.
So
some of them.
This could keep our reunion team going for quite a few years.
It would have been nice for the others if they wanted to contact the show and pass the details on, and we'll love a great
All
big
right, so we'll
reunion
put the
with them.
number up on the screen. So any other members of Brian's... What was his name?
Barham.
Brian Barham's family. The number's on the screen right now. They can contact us. But we've got a statement from Mark. That's Brian's brother, and this is Kelly and Kerry's uncle. You've met Mark,
Yes,
I understand.
I have, yes.
Right, he says, I would describe Brian as a lovable rogue. I remember once I bought a new pair of trainers. I lent them to him to walk home in, and I never saw them again. Brian would do anything for anybody and often travelled hundreds of miles just to help me out when I needed it. He worked as a painter and decorator for many years and was also a fit person who walked and cycled everywhere. Brian died of a heart attack in 1994 whilst playing on the PlayStation with one of his children. I was proud to have called him my brother. So, feel now? You've met a half-sister.
No, I am happy.
Yeah? All right, we'll send you off to spend some time together.
Thank you very much.
Now, have you got questions?